everyone, Santa Gear here. I just got to the 100 hours played in UFO 50 live on Twitch. Day 2 of release. I got the game a couple weeks early, but we are going to do a tier list of all 50 games based on my 100 hours played, where we are at right now. Say hi, chat. Say hi to YouTube. The tiers are as follows. We got a tier for the disc is always in the console. We never stop playing it. A tier for under the TV. We play it often, but not all the time. Shelf to the side, ready to play, but we, maybe we only pick it up every couple months. Got it in the closet, which means we're not playing it. Maybe we'll play it in 10 years to get some nostalgia, but not very long. And then games we donated to Goodwill because we didn't have very much fun with them. So I'm just gonna go in chronological order, starting with Barbuda, which I actually just finished. I find it very interesting game. It was, and there will be some spoilers for the games I've finished in this tier list, FYI. But Barbuda was interesting. The controls were not. When I first opened it, I was like, okay, this game controls like garbage. I can't figure anything out. Enemies aren't responding when I damage them. It is a clearly intentional choice to make a game that was a developer's first game in the early 80s. Minimal tech, no music. And what they do with that concept of having this low-tech first entry in the UFO 50 library is really interesting, and they ask you to use logic with these items and draw out a map. In my case, it was take a bunch of screenshots of the screens and slap them together. But I found it to be really rewarding, engaging, and fun. I finished it in a couple hours, and I think I'm gonna... This is hard because maybe I'll be speedrunning this game, but honestly, this is hard. The world's first Metroidvania. This is the Outer Wilds of the day. I had fun with it. I'm gonna put it under the TV. Bug Hunter, I already know where this one's gonna go, is a really interesting strategy game that I've only played up to finishing the first level. So even after 100 hours played, this is still early days on Bug Hunter. But I find the strategy aspect to be really fun, very Into the Breach. Now I'm wondering if I should put it one lower, because maybe once I beat it, I won't be going back to it repeatedly. Once I like figure out the strategy, maybe I won't be going back to it as much. I'm gonna put this one on the shelf. It's a really fun game, but I don't think that I'll be playing it as long as some of these other games. Not necessarily that length has anything to do with this tier list, but I think once I beat it, I probably won't go back to it. Ninpek I finished yesterday, and Ninpek is an auto scroller, so it automatically goes to Goodwill. This game is like restarting it, you're like, oh my god, get me out of this first level, dude. I think the double jump is fun though, and going for high scores is fun. Maximizing dropping down on the platforms to hit as many enemies as you can as it auto scrolls is fun. I'm struggling with this one on the shelf or in the closet. I think I'm putting this one on the shelf. Yeah, lock it in. Paint Chase is Splatoon, the Thinking Man Splatoon. I think the fact that it only has that you have lives and you have to restart from stage 1 whenever you lose your lives is pretty frustrating, and I think I would have enjoyed it more. Still haven't finished it. I think I would enjoy it more if it let you start from the level you're on and make it more of like a focused puzzle thing. Starting over at the beginning is pretty rough. I like Paint Chase though. I feel like people are underselling Paint Chase. I think the design and the way it moves is really good. I would put it under the TV if I didn't have to start from the beginning every time. I think it'd be a better game if you could start from the current world you're on. Magic Garden is the first game that I would keep in the console. I'm playing Magic Garden. Every time I lose in Magic Garden, I'm restarting because it's so much fun. I think this game is so good. It's Pac-Man, it's Snake, it's unforgiving, and it's worthy of grinding a high score in. I finished it once, I got the gold disc, and it is a banger. It's certified banger. It's the first game that I played in the collection where I said, all right, this is it. This is the game. Banger. Mortal is the first game with a continue feature. And the way it asks you to puzzle out each level is super, super cool. And grinding for like I'm really interested in seeing what the speedruns are going to be for when minimal, like the minimum amount of lives you can use, and also like the most time efficient way to spend your lives, because there is obviously a very straightforward designed way through the level with a couple choices here and there, but it ultimately always adds up to like, okay, I'm going to use 4 lives to get this 10 life pickup, so that means it's a benefit. That's all pretty easy, but the time efficient way to get through each level makes this game truly something. It's going to be interesting to see the speedruns for this one. That one goes under the TV. I'm playing that all the time. Velgress is another one I'm keeping under the TV because it's Downwell. Downwell is snappy, fast. This time you're going upwards. There's 3 worlds with a bonus 4th. Haven't done the bonus 4th yet. It's Upwell. And I love Velgress. The music is so good. I mentioned it in my 50 game review, which I'm basically doing again. But this is I recorded my 50 game review after 50 hours played with editing, so this is a bit different. But I'm double that time played. All right, Planet Zeldath is actually the first game going to Goodwill. I don't think this game is very interesting at all. They made a procedurally generated Zelda game, but ultimately it doesn't work because the combat isn't fun, the way the procedural generation isn't fun, the way it works, and the weapons aren't fun, the dungeons aren't fun. It's just not a fun game. You're just walking and then sometimes you die. It's like whatever. It's super easy. Like, it's the first game I finished because it's just so easy. Yeah, I don't love it. Tactics is another game that is a banger. The way it makes you chaotically try to lay out your strategy, and the way you are always one step behind the game. It's like playing chess. It's like playing timed chess. It's just good. It's just so much fun doing timed, forced move timed chess. You're like, my archer is dying. My archer's dying. Why is my archer dying? Move back, move back. That game's great, and I would always keep it under the TV. Devilition is one I'm keeping in the closet. I haven't played very much of it, to be fair. I've still only gotten to round 5, but ultimately the strategy that goes into Demolition is not really my kind of game. I like it, but it's like learning the strategy for Demolition isn't that much for me, I guess. It's definitely, I can respect the decisions they made with Demolition, but there's something missing in it for me, I think. Maybe just something. It's just a grid and you're just trying to create a chain reaction. And that's basically Minesweeper, and I'm not a huge fan of Minesweeper, I guess. Kick Club is something I literally played this for like an hour yesterday, trying to beat the damn game. This game's so hard. I've made it to World USA, which I think is the 4th world, and Jagger, you said there's 5 worlds. So the way you end up in a situation where you have 5 lives and then they're all gone by the end of the level, it's rough. But you just keep coming back, and getting the high score and finding out where all the secret desserts are by kicking the ball into the corners and stuff is awesome. Love it. I love it. Avianos is going straight on the shelf. I think conveying the depth of Civilization and the amount of mechanics in Civilization into an NES style grid is impossible, and they did it. The mechanics are very clear. You pick up on them in like an hour or less, and one of my matches alone was an hour. So Avianos deserves to be on the shelf. It's a great game. It's a great strategy game, and it's multiplayer. Mooncat, again, I only have one ending in this, but I think making this is the Mario of UFO 50, which is funny because you'd think having a 50 game NES style collection from the 80s would have a Mario. And they did something really interesting, and they made 50 games that aren't Mario. So this is the closest thing we got. It's got warp zones. It's a straightforward platformer with a weird control scheme, and it's a banger. I'm gonna be speedrunning it. All 3 ending speedruns are gonna go hard, I think. There's a lot of interesting tech. You can jump a bunch of different heights. You can slide, and then you can double tap to run. So this game is gonna be really interesting whenever we start speedrunning it. Bushido Ball is Windjammers with Samurai, and that's literally all I need to say about it. It's an S tier. Every time I boot up Bushido Ball, I just want to keep playing Bushido Ball. This is one of the games where I don't even need a completion requirement. I literally just like playing it. I just like booting it up and winning 2 matches. I don't even need to finish it. It just feels so good. The way the ball works is so expertly designed. I was playing multiplayer earlier, and there was a situation where the ball like stopped because of a certain interaction we did with it that slowed it down. I think it was when they pulled it towards them with their character ability. But Bushido Ball slaps. It's so amazing. It just feels so good. The sprites are beautiful. The character design is amazing. Every character controls differently. Yamada, the final boss character, whenever I played, I guess, can't dash up and down, but he like stabs I don't know what the stick is called, and then that makes the ball like go in a crazy arc, and every time you do it, you just feel like the coolest. Like the way it just hits and boom it's so good. S tier, man. Block Koala, I'm putting on the shelf for now. I feel like it's way too early to do this, but I've only played 5 levels of the 50, and I think it has the potential to be A or even S tier, because it's like Baba is you level brain melting puzzles with the way the numbers work together, and I think that's just great. But I'm gonna put it on the shelf for now. Camouflage. I feel like this is under. I don't know. I think camouflage visually a little too simplistic for where it falls. And I think I said this in my 50 game review. Visually too simplistic, especially right after Block Koala. And I think mechanically it's like a little too straightforward. It's an interesting idea, and the puzzles are made well enough, but I think I don't love it, and I'm also already a third of the way through it after 29 minutes. So maybe there's not enough puzzles there either. But I'm putting it in the closet. It could go up. I don't think it'll go down though. It could go up once I finish it. Campanella is an A tier. It's under the TV. The way all the secrets, all the coffee cups in every level are really great. Boss fights are all creative. It's an amazing game. I really love this game. And it's only the first of 3. But we'll get to those later. Campanella is really good. The controls are really good. Running into walls feels like it's your fault every time. Always right on a razor's edge, wiggling through all the crevices and stuff. It's just great. You know I was putting Golfaria S tier. Golfaria is one of my top 5, I think. I'll arrange the S tier into a top 5 at the end of this as well. Golfaria is amazing. I still 100% it. I can't wait to 100% it. It's the first game I intentionally finished, I guess. Planet Zoldath I just finished by accident. But Golfaria is just so good. I highly recommend everyone play Golfaria. It's an open world golf Metroidvania exploration adventure Zelda roguelike. No, it's not a roguelike. Big Bell Race, I'm gonna give to Goodwill. I hate to say it. It's got the Campanella controls, but that's all it's got. That's all it's got. The stages are too simple, it's too short. Doesn't have enough going for it. Imagine if they made an F-Zero with Campanella. Imagine if you're just like zooming. Like imagine if the levels were long and you were just like, if you die, it's bad or something. And as far as multiplayer goes, Akumi, I played multiplayer once and it was like, whatever. Big Bell staying under the TV. All right, fair enough. You can make your own list. Warp Tank is not in S tier. It is in A tier. Warp Tank is a banger of an action, not platformer, warper, I guess. It is kind of a platformer. It's a little action puzzle game. I still don't like the way the camera scrolls. I think that's the only reason it's not S tier. But the levels are fun to solve, and I think speedrunning it's going to be awesome. I also love the open world, the overworld, where you access the levels, because it's got a bunch of little secrets and stuff, and you can warp into like secret little pockets and find hidden levels and stuff, which is just awesome. Onion Delivery, which has Waldorf on it. Sorry, I didn't make this. Onion Delivery. This is hard. I played it some more yesterday, and I think I like it more now because I made it to day 4. Onion Delivery is gonna go in the closet. I think it still controls badly, but I think it's got some charm to it. The music's awesome. Once you get used to the controls, it drives into the river. It's still really rough. Maybe if it was zoomed out a little more, it'd be better. Porgy's an S tier. It's the best. It's the best. Everyone loves Porgy. Look at him. He's got big eyes. And I genuinely can't. I can't believe how good Porgy is. I think Porgy might. I hate to do this. Do I put Porgy in A tier? This is hard. This is really hard for me. I think the way you have to re-explore the whole game every time you like lose a little bit of health is a little frustrating. Maybe there could have been some other checkpoints further on and it could have been designed a little tighter so you're not just re-exploring the same part of the ocean over and over again that you've already been through. I'm gonna leave it in S tier. It's still a banger. Waldorf's Journey, I can't put everything in S tier. I'm sorry. Waldorf's Journey is an A, but it's a high A. I think the single player is a little too short. I think it's a little too short. The multiplayer is S tier, but the single player brings it down a little bit, man. It just brings it down a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think the ending of the single player, if you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it because it's worth seeing for yourself. It's extremely funny. The multiplayer is S tier. If I was making a multiplayer tier list, it'd be S tier. Caramel, I'm donating to Goodwill. If you have any questions about that, please contact my agent. Party House is gonna go on the shelf. Party House is a Balatro-like. It's a roguelike card game if you play the endless mode. I'm sorry, I can't fix the photos. It's not my list. Party House might go under the TV. It is very good. I'm gonna move Party House under the TV. Party House is great. I just beat level 2 of it, so I don't actually have much more to say on it. But I think there's a lot of opportunity for depth there. I'm excited to see how people complete, because completing a run can be completely different. There's a bunch of different strategies to get those stars. So I'm excited to see how far people make it in the endless mode. Hotfoot is going in the closet. I think it is it's simply an inferior Bushido ball. I find the way you have to control 2 people while single player a little frustrating. And then co-op, it's better, but still not as good as Bushido ball. I'd much rather play Bushido ball. Just give me it's so similar. It's Bushido ball, but you're hitting them. And I know I'm basically saying like soccer is just like football, but it kind of is though. It kind of is. Divers I'm putting in A tier. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm pretty far into it. I'm like 4 hours into it. It's an RPG. It's great. It's very, very good. And the cutscene whenever you rest is the best thing about all of UFO 50. I put that in my 50 game review. Please put the disc somewhere else. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, Divers is great. It's a really good RPG. It's got some element weaknesses, but really the exploration and stuff is really what you come for. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Sleeping Lizard animation is the best. That's old water. Rail Heist. I can't put everything under the TV, man. This is rough. This is rough. UFO 50 is really good, okay? If anything's not under the TV, it's not because it's not because it's not good. It's because I can't put everything all the way at the top. You know what I mean? Rail Heist. I can't put Rail Heist on the shelf. I can't put Rail Heist on the shelf because I can't come up with anything wrong with it. It's essentially Metal Gear Solid with like a bunch of different depth made for the NES, man. You got like 100 different strategies for each level. I'm like about to move this to S. I'm putting it in the A tier, man. It's under the TV. Fanger. Oh, this is tough, man. The music alone. The music alone. I finished it yesterday. It's a Metroidvania. It's got some of the best. I'm putting an S tier. It's got some of the best Metroidvania level design. There's only 3 areas. I guess there's 4 areas. There's only 3 areas. The maps are only accessible at the checkpoints. That's annoying. I'm putting it in A tier. And now I have to resize everything. All right. Banger's going in A tier just because you can't access the map anywhere. The music's great. The level design is great. Exploring is great. It's made tightly enough in a more compact area that having to access the map at the checkpoints isn't a total killer. But it is such a good game. Such a good game. There's some repeat boss fights, but that's okay. All right, Rock on Island is gonna go on the shelf. I think it is very good. I think it's okay. I think tuning it as hard as they did was hard to do, and I think finishing the levels with max HP is like a really good challenge. So I think for that, it's like really elevated and very good, but it's still a tower defense game, so it can't be that good. It's a tower defense game, and I am not like 100% on board with tower defense games because you're just waiting around a lot and then dying like kills you and makes you redo a whole like 30-minute level, which is pretty annoying. But it is for tower defense lovers, it's S tier. I can see that. Pin golf. I'm gonna get stabbed for this one. I'm putting pin golf on the shelf, man. I think it controls really well. I think it's really a really fun golf game, but I think it could have been more. I think it could have been more. If they made pin golf a roguelike, I think it'd be good. I think if they made pin golf more levels, if pin golf had more levels, it is fun for multiplayer. I agree. Mortal 2, I'm putting in S tier preemptively. I might have to. This is my 100-hour tier list. I'll make a 500-hour tier list in a few months. But my 100-hour tier list, Mortal 2 is an S tier. I haven't actually played very much of it, but I think the concept is so amazing. Having 99 lives to finish the whole game, and then using those lives in interesting ways. In a wide open area, sprawling level is sick. It's so cool. It's so cool. Fist Hell I'm putting in the trash because I'm bad at. No, I'm gonna put it in the closet. I'm gonna put it in the trash. I don't know where I'm putting Fist Hell. I know it's not high because I don't like when I play Fist Hell, and I don't like the way beat 'em ups control. I don't like when you have to double tap to run on the stuff. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I don't like the way when I go to punch someone and I'm like 1 pixel below them and I miss. I think it feels like garbage. But that's a beat 'em up problem. I think it's a good beat 'em up and it's tuned to be extremely hard. And doing the 9-stage survival for the gift, I had to do in co-op because it's too hard for me. Overbold I'm gonna put on the shelf. I think it is fun, and I think it controls well. I think having 1 HP per, like, at the start of every run is a little... I would have tuned it differently. I think I would have done 15 stages with a longer build up into power than how they did it, which is 8 stages with like you have to get strong as fast as you can, and you're gonna die in 1 hit at the very start. Control of the character feels like a little too slow, maybe. It's unforgiving, but it's not a bad thing, and I do still think it's really fun. Campanella 2 I just finished, and spoilers for Campanella 2, whenever Pilot showed up at the end in his ship following you during the chase sequence, I literally started crying. So it's my favorite game in the whole collection. I literally started crying. It's amazing. It's such a good moment because you're saving him the whole game, and then he's like in his little Campanella ship. It's so cool. It's Spelunky 3. It's my favorite game in UFO 50. I can't stress enough how good Campanella 2 is. If you want Spelunky 3, they made Spelunky Metroid. You got on-foot sequences, you got procedurally generated levels, you have a secret chain to go through. What the hell? They made Spelunky 3 in UFO 50. What more can I say? Holy, it's so good. Hyper Contender is another one that's going to go under the TV, mostly because it's an amazing multiplayer game. Obviously the single player is whatever, it's a single player fighting game at that point, but it's Towerfall. The characters all play totally differently. You got one that's got a gravity flip, you got one that's can't jump, he puts mines down. It's like a great fighting game with the gimmick of like completely unique character controls, which is awesome. Which one would be Spelunky 3? Campanella 2 is literally Spelunky 3 with Metroid. Valbrace is another one that's in my top 5, I think. We'll see. Though I don't know if that's gonna stay true the more I play it. We'll see. Maybe the combat is gonna wear thin on me, but Valbrace is a dungeon crawler, and I think apparently it's procedurally generated, and the way the tension builds as you get deeper and deeper into a floor, because if you know that if you run into one bad fight and make one wrong attack, you're gonna reset that floor, which took you 25, 35, 45 minutes. It's punishing, and it is hard, and it is intriguing. The way you find different rooms and all this other stuff is just incredible. Valbrace, the pixel art in Valbrace is so good. Holy crap. I can't believe how good the pixel art is. God, it's so good. Rakshasa? God, I'm just gonna put them all in S tier. I'm about to move Golfaria and Porgy down, man. Golfaria and Porgy were like my number 1 and 2 whenever I played them. I was like, there's no way, nothing's beating this. And Rakshasa scratches that Castlevania itch, man. It is a brutally difficult platformer where if you make one wrong move and then you die during the minigame death sequence, it's over. And you have to start all the way back to the beginning of the game, but you don't care because the level design is amazing. The controls feel great. The art and the music just carry you through it. And every time you get a little further, it feels so good because you know how hard it is. Rakshasa is so good. I love Rakshasa. I just want to play Rakshasa. Star Waspier goes down in in shmup hell where I don't like it. See you later. It's literally just too hard. I can't deal with it. There's too many bullets everywhere, and it literally makes me anxious to the point of not having fun. Yeah. Grimstone I'm gonna put right in the middle for now, because what I've played of it so far is it is strictly a straightforward JRPG, but the fact that there's a full JRPG in here is crazy, and I respect it, but I don't know enough about it to say it's great or bad, so I'm just gonna put it right in the middle for now. Lords of Disconia is really fun, but I haven't played it multiplayer, and I'm also only on level 4, so I'm also gonna put it in the middle, simply because I think I can't speak on it 100%. It's a really fun shuffleboard strategy game. Night Manor. Night Manor. This one's hard. This one's hard. Night Manor is really good, but is it S tier good? I think simply because it's an adventure game and it's not a genre that I usually click with, I think it's not S tier for me. But I think, like, if you like adventure games, it's the adventure game in this collection, and it's amazing. But for me, it's still an adventure game. But man, the mood, I'm putting it in S tier. It's so good. I'm just racking up that S tier. The mood is so good. The music, the way they actually made it like a little scary. Good campy horror set in one house, and the art is all very clear. Everything is so crisp, and solving the puzzles was great. And I played it in like a 3.5 hour sitting, and I didn't want to close it. It's great. It's great. It's S tier. What was I thinking? Elphazar's hat I'm gonna put in I'm gonna put under the TV. It's really, really, really good, but what holds it back from being S tier, I think, is it's a shmup. I just don't like shmups very much. That's all it is. I think it moves a little too slow, but I do like the dodge. That's why that's the only thing holding it back from being in Goodwill, because I can dodge the freaking bullets, man. It's really good. I like it a lot. The art is amazing. All the character design is amazing. The music's amazing. The vibes are just over the moon. Over the moon. I loved it. I finished it with blue. I'm always gonna remember finishing it with blue, so I think that makes it special. Pilot Quest is an idle game with a Zelda overworld that is also procedurally generated, that you can also loop forever to get permanent upgrades. But I think there just is not... I think the idle stuff is limited a little too much. I don't like the way it feels that I just saw that the Campanella 3 and Seaside Drive icons are also swapped. No! I think the idle stuff is capped a little too fiercely and doesn't allow you to explore enough early on. And even when you do get out, I don't know, maybe it's fine. I don't know how I'd change it. But maybe I want it to be a little more forgiving. Maybe I want it to be a little less hard. But it was fun. It was a fun experience. I still haven't gotten Cherry on it though, so I'll be returning to it. It's definitely one of the neatest, unique games in the collection. Mini and Max, I'm gonna put in A tier right now. Unfortunately, I haven't finished it yet, but I think the idea of being trapped in a room and that room being the whole game, but you're small, is just too good. And it's an adventure puzzle game exploration, and it's great. I like it a whole lot, and it seems to be really long, and I'm stuck in it right now. So we'll be playing that this week for sure. Combatants, I'm given to Goodwill. I still don't know how to play it. I've went back to it twice now, and I don't get it. I just my ants keep getting killed. Someone's got to teach me. Maybe it'll go up into the closet. Maybe I'll go back to Goodwill and pick it back up once someone teaches me how to play it. Quibble Race, I'm putting on the shelf, which means again I have to. Oh wait, no I don't. Oh yes I do. I have to go up this time. Our tier list keeps changing size. Horrible. Who planned this? Quibble Race is strictly for the shelf. Maybe when you have some family over, you pull it back out, but I think the idea is really unique and it's really fun, but ultimately not worth playing single player. And you know, it's random. You're not going to replay it over and over and over again. But it's fun. It's fun for a party. That's all. That's what I'll say about that. Campanella 3 is gonna go in the A tier because I like it a lot. It's the only shmup that I really like out of the collection, I guess, because it's 3D and yeah, that's the wrong icon. I guess Seaside Drive is also a shmup, and I like that a lot. I'm just gonna throw these together actually. So Campanella 3 and Seaside Drive are both, I like them similarly. They're beautiful, great music, well-made levels, really short. Still haven't finished Campanella 3, but I got to the last level. They're both pretty, and that's basically why they're good. And I don't know, I like looking at them and listening to them. And that's really what video games are about. Cyber Owls is another one I'm putting in the middle. I've only played it for 30 minutes, and I don't know enough about it to really comment on it. I haven't even seen more past the first minute of each level. And you can play the levels in any order. So I'm gonna slap that there. And that is my tier list for UFO 50. Let me know in the comments and stuff what I did wrong. Make sure you type in all caps. I'll permit the message. It'll flag it, but I'll let it through. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is my official 100 hour Xanagear approved tier list for UFO 50. And real quick, I forgot about my dang top 5. Let me do my top 5. Campanella 2 is number 1. Rakshasa is number 2. Valbrace is number 3. Belfari is number 4. Porgy's number 5. I mean, that's definitive. That's definitive. Magic Garden moved out of the top 6, not out of the top 5. Can't believe it. I can't believe it. That's my top 5, and that's my tier list. Thanks for watching. See you in the next